Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming back at you with the RHONY reboot episode 14 season finale recap. I can't believe we made it, y'all. Woo. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but we are here. So if you're new, please like, share, and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. And let's get into this episode. Now, we start seeing each lady doing errands, like her shopping, and Jenna at a photo shoot. But the main first scene begins with Aaron and Uba on bumper cars, and they talk about the night at that swingers place. Explains that Pavi's answer was not bad at all, and actually, in her mind, it's a good thing that someone would let someone be themselves and follow their passions, and she would want that for herself. So she kind of gags Aaron a bit, and then she goes further by saying that actually what she got upset about was how David treated her by asking her why she's single, and trying to make her feel type of way about not being in a relationship. And Uba basically says that, Erin don't know that she's in a relationship because Erin is like the New York Times. She's going to tell her business. But she says she trusts Sai with her relationship because she thinks Sai's not going to talk. She going to learn not to trust either of them. Meg, Sai, and Bryn meet in Central Park, and then Bryn explains the whole project of planting the tree in her grandmother's memory. And here you see that Bryn is probably an instrumental griever. There are a lot of people, when they have loss, there's two main types of grievers. There's the kind of intuitive or natural grievers who just, cry, fall apart, all that stuff. It's totally okay when you lose someone you love to, you know, follow what your feelings tell you to do. But then there are some people who are instrumental grievers and they more prefer to channel their feelings into like a project or some kind of bigger like planning venture. And that's what Bryn is doing, by getting this plot and trying to find a perfect spot, a perfect tree to honor her grandma's memory. It's totally healthy, and it really makes me respect that Bryn does have some awareness, of her emotional needs, and she is portrayed, as a flirt and kind of like ditzy at times, but she has a depth to her, and you see that with her hobbies like book collecting and chess playing. And even the way she's honoring her grandmother and like honoring her own, mental health by processing her grief this way. Very cool to see. So kudos to Bryn, and also shout out to Sai for being there for her. Next, you see Jessel doing a photo shoot for her venture to bring international designs, and I think particularly Indian like fashion and design to the public over here in the States. And so she's doing a photo shoot at Jenna's apartment since Jenna's place is amazing. And Jenna is so funny because she act like she'd mind her business at first, but her boss side kicks in and she starts like directing the directors that Jenna hired for the shoot, and just was very thankful to have her expertise. And then Uba joins them, but apparently she had to walk up the stairs, so she's tired. And she's like, I'm through with coming up in these shoes. Y'all gotta tell me if the elevator's broken. She ends up sitting in just Jenna's tub for relief. I don't know if it's because like she could prop her feet up. Her dogs was barking. I don't know, but her and Jessel talk in the bathroom. And Uba eventually gets out the tub, but basically they're just compare notes about the girls, and Uba is, having Jessel's back, which is nice. Speaking of the girls, the mean girls, Aaron and Sai meet up, and every time there's, I think I have just a block because I didn't hear everything they said, but basically, Sai tells Aaron about the pet parrot comment, and then Aaron says that she wants to drop kick Jessel, and Sai just tries to explain why she's not a mean girl, but we all see her actions, and actions speak louder than words, y'all. That's good advice for anybody. You could say what you want about your character, but people are gonna see your character more so than like hear what you think about it, you know. Next, Aaron tells Sai that Uba was uncomfortable about David cornering her about being single. And Sai said that David always compliments her friend, even to the point that she sometimes gets uncomfortable and said, "Hey, I'm your wife," which is interesting considering all the smoke she has for Jessel. But Sai then tries to redirect by spilling Uba's tea that she's dating someone to Aaron. So Sai is not to be trusted like Uba thinks. And you see Uba in her apartment next. She has a cute bob. I think that's her natural hair and hair length. Because you see she has like the extensions and braids sometimes, but her hair is real cute. Next, you see Jessel and Pavitt have a scene where she's, you know, talking her talk, basically saying that the girls are obsessed with her. And, you know, they're like stands at this point. It's really funny to see her just finally fed up with their mess, taking her power back. But she seems to be losing her voice. So that's when I knew that the episode probably wasn't going to give a lot because she didn't have the voice to read them or, you know, talk the way she needs to talk in front of them. She barely, you know, was getting some sounds out the way it was. So she was drinking some concoction. She was wondering what she should drink later on. But her voice was on the ropes. So I feel like the reunion is going to be where we're going to see the bigger showdown with Jessel and the Mean Girl since she can barely speak at this point. Next, Bryn's birthday party. It's very cute. And it kind of ties the season up in a nice bow because she had charcuterie and lots of cheese and cheese boards, which, you know, the first episode was all about cheese. Next, you see Sai, who has a mask and hat combo that actually goes with her outfit. Bryn's mask has a lot of feathers, but it looks kind of like a lion mane vibe too on the sides. Bryn also sort of flirts with David again. It kind of flirts with all the men actually. So again, she didn't learn her lesson from what Aaron was telling her before. Also, Uba comes in and she has a really beautiful dress with like a lot of feathers, like ostrich feathers on the bottom. Really cool. And Jenna shows up in a butterfly mask. Oh, but before that, when Uba walked in, she hugs Abe, and Abe asked her to wrap him in her coat. I'm kind of flirting too. So I was wondering if Aaron caught that because as much smoke as she had for Bryn, she gotta have a little smoke for Abe too because he be laughing and, you know, flirting right back or even initiating flirting with the girls. Um, Next, Bryn explains some of the rules for her event. Basically, she said she had asked people to show up with someone that they had slept with most recently or someone that they wish to sleep with by the end of the night. And Brent asked Jenna for a kiss. Jenna obliges. And then David pulls Uba aside and apologizes to her for making her feel a type of way because I guess after Aaron told Sai what Uba said, Sai then told David. So now David wants to come and smooth things out with Uba. Uba basically tells us to make it a teaching moment. Don't ask single women why they're single. That's not a good question. To hug it out. Sai then basically tells Erin that, yeah, she knows that Jessel's coming, but she can handle Jessel in group settings, just not one-on-one. She don't like hanging out with Jessel in that way. And then Jessel and Pava come in, and they give a general hi to everybody, but they don't personally greet or hug Erin or Sai. Erin then complains about that, which is weird after all the smack that she talks about. So she's like, what? No hug, no, greeting. And then Sai says she's glad that Jess ignored her. She's like, good, she's doing good because I don't want her in my face. But then Erin goes and complains to her husband and makes a big deal about Jessel not giving a personal hi, even though Jessel did say hi. And Erin again is just being exhausted and making a big deal out of things. And then she goes up to Jessel and asks her why she didn't say hi. Jessel then tells Erin that she heard what smack she had been talking about Prophet not wearing the ring and all that stuff. And she says that, she knows the things that both she and Sai have been saying. And then Sai comes over and she tells Sai that she knows that they aren't getting along and they should agree to not, be bothering each other. And they agree basically to stay away from each other. And then Jessel walks off and asks if anybody wants to go get a drink with her. So Erin follows. And then when Erin is with her one-on-one again, Erin basically complains about being lumped in with Sai and says that if, she wanted to have a problem with Jessel, she could, because she's heard that Jessel has like a list about her in her phone and all these things like that. And Jessel kind of denies it. She's like, it's not really like that. Because it's not it's not things that are like blackmail, like, negative evidence about Erin. It's literally kind of like things that she wishes she would say to Erin in her phone. It's kind of like a diary, or kind of like a running Dear John log of like, processing her grievances so that she remembers the grievances, but also like what she would want to say if she needs to in a future moment. So then Brynn starts a messy game basically for all of them to air their grievances out with each other, because she sees, Erin and Jessica get into it. She knows that Jess and Sai got into it, and of course she wants to stir the pot to make sure her event gets aired on TV, increases the chances. So then Brynn then outs Pavitt for saying that Sai was bipolar, and then kind of cleans it up by saying that, well, he took the bipolar comment back and kind of ended calling her a biatch. And then Sai did her confessions like, yeah, I don't appreciate that, especially because she says her mother was bipolar. And she then just takes her complaint more directly to Sai after Pava in the confessional admits that he probably did call her those names behind her back. Sai then says, well, I got a problem with you, Jessel, because, you a liar. And just like, what have I lied about? Come on, what is it? And then it's exhausting. Sai brings up the Vietnam trip again, saying that, the dates were wrong. And you can tell that Sai doesn't listen well, because the lies again are debunked by production, because when Sai said, that Jessel had told her, that the trip was going to be next week, production showed that she said in a few weeks. And then when she said that they lied about Pavitt having a ticket, and production shows, that she just didn't listen well. So really, Sai's problem is that she doesn't listen, and she'd rather assume the worst, or even if she does hear, she discounts it and just keeps whatever stereotype or thing she made up in her head which is a problem. So, um, Shy's just yelling because I think she might realize that she's wrong because Papa already walked away. So she's gonna try to be loud instead of right. And then Jessel tells her not to raise her voice at her. And then Shy's like, well, I have to yell because obviously you're not hearing me. And then both Pava and Jessel walk off. And then Uba stands up for Jessel. Like, well, why do you care? Like, this has nothing to do with you. And then Uba basically maintains that she don't go after people's marriages or children and none of that stuff because that's not her place. That's what she said earlier in the episode, and she's proving it and trying to get these girls to see that this is not the way. The men then congratulate Jenna for being the most level-headed one, but then Jenna downplays herself and tells David that um she wishes she was more like the other girls because she doesn't, you know, have a lot of social chutzpah, I guess, to do certain things. But then David tells her that Sai actually sees her as a superwoman. And then Jenna says in the confessional that hopefully she's going to open up more, but she needs a safe space to do so, which is what me and a whole bunch of people who are the fans have been saying all along. It's like the way the ladies speak to each other, and especially the way they treat Jessel, it does not create a safe space to share because all they do is like pick apart and deny each other's experiences and feelings, and it's not a safe place. Um After that, Bryn's cake comes out and it's a vintage Nancy Drew book pile with glasses on top. And she says she still reads the Nancy Drew book sometimes as an adult because they make her feel happy. Then Uba asks Bryn to use her birthday wish to wish for husbands for the both of them. And Bryn does that. And then Bryn asks all the men to come over and help her cut the cake. And Jessel jokes that Bryn probably would have loved a birthday party being surrounded by sausages, like a sausage fest. And then after they cut the cake, Sai sits between Jessel and Aaron, and the three of them share a slice of cake. And then Sai kind of tries to make up with them by saying that sometimes she don't like Jessel, but she's over, and Jessel says she don't like Sai sometimes either. And she tells Aaron that she didn't like Aaron even at one point in the summer over the cheesecake nonsense, but they're over it. And in the confessional, she says they are friends at the end of the day. But in that recent interview she was doing, she was saying that they weren't friends. So who knows with Sai. Next, Uba gets a phone call. She's talking, and then Bryn jokes that she heard Uba has a man in Connecticut, which makes Sai feel a type of way all over again, even though she had just calmed down, just made peace with everybody. Then Sai goes off on Bryn. And then Uba is also upset at Bryn, and her confessional says that Uba doesn't deserve her birthday and that they should have just taken to McDonald's and not even given her any fries, which was surprisingly cold-blooded there. I was like, oh, not the McDonald's trip with no fries. Fries are the best part. And then Bryn blames Sai for mentioning her dating life on camera in the first place. So then Uber confronts Sai and it was like, wait, Bryn saying you said it's on camera. And then Sai says that what she said to Aaron on camera was an accident. And then Bryn comes over and then Sai reiterates that we know what Bryn did was not okay. And they put everything back on Bryn. Then they break the fourth wall and just are all arguing about who said what on camera and only Uba having the right to tell her story on camera. So then Sai and Uba leave in a huff. Jenna is trying to figure out what's going on and accidentally drinks someone's alcohol, even though she doesn't drink. I think it was tequila. And then she's like, what's going on? Why are they mad at Bryn or Sai? And then Aaron explained that Sai was the one who told Bryn. So then that's why Jenna I guess is confused because she doesn't know why so many people are involved, but really it's kind of like a lot of people opening their mouth when Uba had only told Sai, so Uba was right to be mad at Sai, even though Bryn was the one that did the offense directly, right? And Aaron knows too, but Aaron was keeping her mouth closed. So that's why Aaron was able to explain to Jenna. So then Jessel leaves with Pavit. She tries to hug Bryn, but then Bryn acts like she's mad at Jessel for not standing up for herself. And she did something like that earlier too, like while Jessel was talking to Aaron. She was saying that Jessel wasn't standing up for herself. So it's like she was fake being helpful, but then I think she was trying to go along with the mean girl crowd in the moment because it did seem like kind of a let's be mad at Jessel again. But this time, Bryn's like, I'm gonna be mad at her for not standing up for herself. So it could be interpreted as like looking out for her, but really it was, I think, her trying to show solidarity with the mean girls while not looking two-faced. When Jessel leaves with Pavit, she just remarks that she's over all the dumbness and the drama. She wasn't even studying Bryn at this point, and she was cold. And then after some gentle nudging, Pavit gives her his jacket. And then the night ends and they cut to, what everybody's doing. And they say Uber's hot sauce is selling well, but she does not have an investor. And also, she let the girls meet her Connecticut man. Jessel and Pavit apparently settle on a $35,000 school for their kids, and they're still doing the staycations and not using popsicles. They say Sai still has her mother's remains in a bag in her closet, but she plans on bringing them to a home she built, I believe, in the upstate. Erin moved from Tribeca, I guess, to be, they said, closer to her kids' school, I think. And they said she's about to launch a mezcal line. And then Bryn, they say she's freezing her eggs and keeping them in Switzerland to be closer to the rich men. Oh, I'm tired of this. I'm glad this is the reunion. That's going to be the next episode, and the finale is finished finally. So the queen of the episode has to be Jenna. She stayed out the fray. She helped Jessel with her shoot. And like I said, she was even directed the director. So you saw more of her boss side. And David even encouraged her and said that, she has a lustrous career. A lot of people look up to her, including Sai, who my heart went out to this episode. Jessel for losing her voice and still having to fight with these mean girls over Vietnam. Them calling her a liar is played out. When her voice comes back by the reunion, I hope she gets to stand up to them because it's so annoying. And they are relentless. And Bryn might be right that they just haven't gotten told about themselves well enough yet. So hopefully Jessel can do that at the reunion. Uba, my heart goes out to her also because her secret got spilled and she almost looked like she almost got taken out by them stairs. Like when she got in the door, she was almost on the floor. Poor Uba. So I'm glad that she stood up for Jessel and stood up for what is right when it was the time. Hope she learned her lesson about the secrets inside because, if you want to keep a secret, you gotta keep it to yourself a lot of the time. Seriously. The naughty one this episode, I would say, would be Erin, because she was acting all innocent and acting offended when Jessel didn't hug her. And it's like, you talk about this girl like a dog. Why would she hug you? But the parrot thing is what redeemed her. Why she's not in timeout, because like Jessel said, it does show that she kind of has a sense of humor. And the two people in timeout will have to be Bryn and Sai. Sai for still, again, calling Jessel a liar and holding on to this false narrative about, who is sharing and who is not, and if they're sharing what's real and what's not. She's not the judge of the jury, and based on a lot of these rumors in the blogs, she has to be careful about, who's telling lies and whatnot, because there are people on Reddit who dug up her marriage certificate, and on the Bravo website says she was married in 2009, but the marriage certificate, I believe, says 2000, either 14 or 16 or something. So for some reason, she was lying about when she got married, and some people are saying it's because of the way she met her husband, who had a wife before her. She is his second wife. That's public knowledge, but timeline is not timelining. So the more she talks about other people lying, second season, this really might bite her in the butt for that. So again, the grave you dig for other people, sometimes you fall in. So the more she's calling Jessel a liar, the more people are digging into her. And then with Brynn, the way, again, it seemed like she was acting like she was rooting for Jessel in a way, telling her to stand up for herself, but it's the way she did it. She wasn't letting Jessel speak to Aaron. It was almost like again, a gang up situation where Aaron was talking at her, and then Brynn joined in and was talking at her about not talking enough for herself. So Brynn, maybe she was increasingly getting inebriated because she did that with Jessel, and then she told Uba's secret, and whoever was not mad at her before was mad at her then, and she even makes a joke that next year she's just going to be by herself with a cupcake because nobody's going to be her friend. So Brenda's got to, watch the games that she's playing, and if it's a drinking thing, she's maybe gonna do better to not drink in front of the camera so she doesn't have these kinds of mistakes. But we shall see what goes on at the reunion with everybody. My predictions based on a trailer: Uba, Jessel, and Brynn, that couch, it's gonna hold it down. The Mean Girl couch, I don't see much out of them, but Uba especially, they say came in hot, Uba hot, and she said herself, I believe on Watch What Happens Live, she had watched the episodes, and she was really upset about a lot of things, and it was fashion because, well, she's a model. She was tired, and she had, I believe, only a couple hours to watch it. Like, she came home from her last fashion show like 2 a.m. or something before the union, so she only had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to watch like 4 episodes. So everything was fresh. Every slight was fresh. So Uba, I think, is gonna deliver the best drama and lines at the reunion. But Jessel also, like I said, she had lost her voice a lot this episode. But I think she's gonna give to them at the reunion. So those are my top 2. And yeah, we shall see. So what did you think about the episode, the finale? What would you like to see in the reunion? For me, I would like to see Jessel stand up for herself. But definitely looks like Uba could stand up for everybody. But regardless, remember, you are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul.